It might be no time to die, but it is time to race in TGP1. Unless you're Phil Bardwell, that is, worried about a potential paracetamol shortage, the Williams driver has gone to stock up on those little white pills up north. So, will the championship be shaken or stirred tonight? Netherlands and Italy are our venues. Again, two contrasting circuits that will favour different sets of drivers. We're in for a spectre pull tonight, that's for sure. We've had 6 winners so far this season. Can we make it 007? One thing we know for sure is that the car choice of James Bond, the Aston Martin, will not be piloted by Alan van der Merwe, who refuses to be vaccinated from the deadly COVID-19 vaccine. For one man in the Aston Martin, it's only right we start the stream with Jack Hickman, currently quickest with a 1:10.2. Make that a 1:10.0, 2 tenths quicker than anyone else currently, and he goes off at turn 1. Getting out of the way of, I think, the Haas of Jonas. What can Jonas do on his next timed lap? Currently P9. He'll be wanting to get himself inside the top 5. You can see a tyre on the circuit. That is from TTG. Evan, unfortunately for him, crashed out of the session quite early on, but still P6 for now. So what can Jonas do on this timed lap? Currently just inside the top 10. He'll want to start a little higher than that, or he may as well just start outside and get a fresh set of tyres for the race. The Haas driver wants to get up there. He knows he's in a real fight for the Constructors' Championship. He and Glock currently second at the moment, but only just behind the two Red Bulls of Aiden and Alistair after a superb week last time out. Oh, Jonas is round. That's his lap over. He's in the gravel trap. He lost the confidence. He lost the car. Round he goes. And he will not be improving on this time lap. So behind him, the two Alfa Romeos looking to improve themselves. Matt Tibbles is currently on an improvement. He's on the medium tyre, so may just dive straight back into the pits. Indeed, he does. Let's see what CJH can do. He crosses the line to say his first time lap of the session and goes inside the top 6, currently on the 3rd row of the grid. Jonas, what happened?
I just took too much inside curve and it just spun me round. I was looking good to possibly be 5th or 6th with that. I was about 4.5 temps up, and then, yeah, hit the curb, spun it round. That's shit.
Well, these things happen in Formula 1. Can Jack Hickey take pole position? It would be his first of the season. The Aston Martin driver really impressing tonight. His teammate Kong currently P12. He'll be looking to improve as well. What can Alistair Bain do out there? Currently on an in-lap back to the pits. These drivers should have time for one more fast run in this session.
How did I get out the pits ahead of you there? I could have sworn I just seen you go out.
I got held for a very long time.
New Zealand Cam, he's in the wall. The Ferrari driver was improving, but just like his teammate TT Evan, he is now facing the wrong way on circuit. He's still got 4 wheels on his car, but a very lucky boy.
Putin, the fucking Putin.
Who the Putin indeed. Not the session that Cam wants. Currently starting P16 and with just 2 minutes to go in this session, he's not going to have time to get back to the pit lane. So Jordan about to start his final run in this session, yet to set a lap time. Will we see the AlphaTauri driver get ahead of his teammate Joe Manatee, currently P11, just a few tenths off Jonas. You can see a tyre on the circuit. Thankfully for Jordan, it is invisible. He will go straight through that. Will not be an issue for him. We've got Jack Hickey and Glock both about to start their final laps in the session. Dalaman is on the final tyre lap, and Jordan quickest in the first sector. That's purple. Could we see a shock here with Jordan going straight to the top of the timesheets in qualifying for the Hooter-Pooten Grand Prix? Cam's had enough. He will not be starting any higher than P16, most likely 17th once Jordan completes this time lap. Jordan, what's his middle sector going to be? It was a very, very strong first sector, wasn't it? A purple, quicker than anyone else. And look at that, it's a purple again. Jordan looking very good here in the AlphaTauri. CJH will not be improving his time lap. We've got the Red Bulls of Aiden and Alistair about to start their final laps in this session. Jordan with just one more corner to negotiate. He's in the gravel. And almost lost the back end and into the barrier, but he kept it. He crosses the line. Where can he go? Is he going to be inside that top 10 on the first 5 rows? No, it's 11th, just outside, just behind Jonas. Maybe Jonas would have wanted him to improve and find that time, but it wasn't to be. So down the man, what can he do? Currently finding 2/10 on this lap. It'll be enough to put him second at the moment, ahead of Glock. He's taken the shortest line to the finish. Where can he go? Is he going to improve on P3? He goes second. A very good time there from down the man. He improves. Now attention's turned to the rest of the field. We won't bother with Court because it's going to be a slow lap, that's for sure. Currently 4 seconds off Jack Hickey. Court around the final corner. We'll see what he can do, but behind him there's Glock. Approaching now the final couple of corners, the trickiest part of the track. Glock is finding time, but is it going to be enough? He needs to find 2/10. Court stays 16th, doesn't improve. What a surprise, but Glock goes second only. Jack Hickey might have secured pole position here. Jack Hickey's finding time. What about Matt Tibbos? Can he find the time to go at the front of the grid? No, he stays fourth. Aidan Griffin is invalidated. So it is going to be down to Jack Hickey unless someone that down there like Jordan or Luca can spring a real surprise. It's looking very good for Jack Hickey. He doesn't necessarily need to improve. 1:10.0. Can he rub it into the rest of the field? A 1:09.996. The fastest time in qualifying and by 0.2 of a second.
Validate my last lap at the last call. Now I would have been fucking sick.
Hold on. One more call. Oh, it's been. Oh, no.
Kieran stays 15th, found 3/10. Oh, goes up to 12, sorry. My timing sheet is not updating. Both McLarens and Sauers up 12 for the first time this season.
Fuck it now.
Hey, it took 11 rounds.
These things happen in Formula 1.
Indeed, they do. Your grid looking rather tasty then. Glock, championship leader, will be in second position. Still on the front row, and we've seen his starts this season. If he can get Jack Hickey into turn one, then he could find himself in a very sweet position. But Jack, who is second in the championship, the closest man to Glock, is 26 points behind. Not sure why Jack felt the need to give a reaction that he forgot to leave the party, because he still has a minute to leave. It's not like the lights are about to go out. Anyway, Jack Hickey on pole position, the first of the season, 1:09.996, over a tenth quicker than the man who has dominated this season in a way. 26 points clear of his rival, but Jack Hickey with a win and fastest lap could match him after this round. Let's just scroll down to see the home favourite, Court. P16, 4.1 seconds off the rest of the field. Court, unfortunately...
I didn't set the lap.
Well, unfortunately, Court, the stewards have decided that your time is not quick enough to qualify you for the race. You will not be starting the Hootenboot Grand Prix. Unfortunately for Court, he is being kicked from the lobby as we speak.
See you guys tomorrow then. Teach me to.
By the way, if you've not seen any of TGP2 this season, you need to watch it tomorrow. Tune in. Commentary from the Manatee and Dan the Man. What a season it's been. There's been 8 winners from 10 races, and the championship leader is yet to win one himself. Incredibly wide open.
10 pot.
Indeed. Well, he leads the championship, Aidan, so maybe he's the best of them all. Well, TGP2 is tomorrow.
Sorry for me, no.
TGP1 is tonight. The championship also just as close. Matt Tibbos is only a point behind Jack Hickey, who himself is just 26 behind Glock. So 27 points separating the top 3 after 10 rounds. We're about to go racing. The drivers are on the grid for the Hootenboot Grand Prix. Lights on, lights off. Good start from the Aston Martin of Jack Hickey. Can he stay clear of Glock into turn 1? It's a very good start from Jack Hickey. Already, Matt Tibbos down the inside of Glock. Can he get P2? You can see the Red Bull of Aidan almost coming together with the second Alfa Romeo. But crucially, Glock still ahead of Tibbos. Tibbos came very close to getting him down into turn 1. Not the best start for Glock. We've seen better starts throughout the season. But this is a fantastic one from Tibbos, and down the man just about holding on in 4th position.
So did you get damage from that?
Tibbos off the line very, very well, up into P3, not quite able to get Glock, unfortunately for him, but what a start it was from the Alfa Romeo. The top 3 in the championship, the top 3 here in the Netherlands, and it's Jack Hickey with a fantastic start. He needed to stay in front. He's been the quickest man in qualifying, and if he was to win this race, he had to make sure he was the first man into turn 1. Not necessarily the easiest track to overtake out. Home favourite Court is already up into P14. He's gained 2 places. What a start from the Dutch missile. It's Jack Hickey from Glock. We've got a yellow flag in the third sector. It's Kong Hoffner. We've got an Aston Martin at the back and an Aston Martin at the front. Jack Pearson very well in PA at the moment. Really impressive in McLaren. We saw glimpses of his pace at Spa last week. Unfortunately for him, screwed over a little bit by the strategy, but still, regardless, P8 for Jack Pearson here in Netherlands, looking for a good points haul after a shaky start to the season. Alistair Bain and John is still inside the top 10. Jordan not quite inside there yet. Kieran also doing well in P12. Mr. Chiapelli will be disappointed with 13th, but it is a long race. Still 17 more laps to go, and surely the drivers towards the back like Manatee and Cam will find themselves with good chances later on with possible safety cars, virtual safety cars, or doing the undercut strategy. So Jack Hickey keeping control of this race for now. He's still 6/10 clear of Glock. No threat at the moment. DRS is about to come in play. But Jack Hickey should be okay, and Matt Tibos also himself within a second. In fact, everyone down to 13th is within a second. Make that top 16 within a second of the car in front. Let's see if Cam can get through on Jovial Manatee up the inside. The Ferrari driver tries to get him, but Manatee was wise to that. He stays clear. Manatee on the medium tyre, so will struggle a little more than the guy behind him. But it was a good attempt there from Cam to try and get Manatee down into turn 1 as DRS now does come into play. Can the Ferrari driver get Manatee down into turn 1 already? Kieran is making an early pit stop, trying something a little different in this race, knowing that the train is going to be quite severe as this race progresses, and Manatee still holding on to position number 14, the final points haul ahead of Cam, who will get impatient soon and will want to make that move through into the top 14. Kieran has clean air, as will Kong. Both drivers choosing to pit early on, trying to try something different here. This is not an overtaking opportunity, but Cam thinks about it. Look how much quicker, how much more confident he is on Manatee ahead of him. You can see Court going very wide just in front. This is about to become a 3-car battle as the Alpine driver starts to lose a bit of confidence in that car. The home fans not exactly spurring him on as now Cam round the outside of Manatee. Can he make this stick? This would be some move if he can. Roy with the inside line. Roy will surely hold it. They're side by side, wheel to wheel, but fantastic racing, and Cam through into P14 and can now start to chase the man in front, which is Court. John is looking to get through on Alistair. For Alistair now all over the back of Jack Pearson, who's starting to fall back from Aidan Griffin's 2 seconds drift off the Red Bull. So Alistair's going to have a glorious chance here with DRS, slipstream, everything he's got to get through on the McLaren driver. Jack Pearson might be stuck here, might have to just let him go. Up the inside goes Alistair, and Alistair Bain now inside the top 8, and behind his brother, his teammate, Aidan Griffin, who's 7th. Jordan right behind this huge train of cars behind Alistair. Alistair will now surely start to pull clear of these drivers, but you can see Jordan looking to get inside that top 10 right behind Jonas, who himself is all over the back of Jack Pearson. Jack Pearson having a great race so far. Can the McLaren driver hold firm and keep inside the top 10 before the first round of pit stops? We've got Glock getting very close. Glock getting very close to Jack Hickey is further back. Kong Hoffner in the second Aston Martin has spawned at the final corner. That could be a potential safety car or virtual safety car, which would throw this race wide open as Jonas almost goes into the back of Jack Pearson. Starting to run out of room. Jack Pearson managing this very well, and Jonas now under attack from Jordan behind him. Can Jordan get through on the Haas driver? Limited opportunities to overtake here, and the AlphaTauri will have to wait down into turn 1. And speaking of turn 1, we're going to see a glorious chance surely for Glock to get through on Jack Hickey. The gap is 0.4 of a second, the closest it's been since the opening lap. Is he close enough to make a move? There's a spinner further back. It's Cam now down to 15th outside of the points. Jovial Manatee back through. He'll be happy with that one. Danaman also right on the back of Tibos. Danaman just at a very quick lap time. Can he now get himself in the fight for the lead? Glock 3/10 adrift of Hickey. Down the man, just 4/10 behind Tibos. It's all very close here. Still, the top 7 all bunched together in this race as Glock gets closer and closer to Hickey. But unfortunately for him, this track just seems so thin, doesn't it? Hardly anywhere to overtake. Cam is out of the race. And is that going to be a stoppage to this race? I hope not, because we've got such a great fight at the moment, and it would really screw over the Red Bulls and the Alfa Romeos, who both find themselves close together on track. Look at this, beautiful chopper cam here. It's Hickey from Glock, Tibos in 3rd, the top 3 in the championship, still the top 3 in this race. Down the man's 4th, CKH 5th, TCG Evans in his first race in TGP1, a very respectable P6 with the 2 Red Bulls They've announced their 7th and 8th. Kieran has passed Court, further behind. Court now back outside the points. The fans are actually starting to boo. They're starting to boo their home hero. They aren't a fan of Court's performance. Some are starting to leave already, but don't leave just yet, because here comes Glock with a fantastic chance to finally take the lead of this race. Jack Hickey defends the inside. Glock will try and go around the outside. More confidence, more pace. Has he got the speed to get through? He hasn't just now. The Haas driver almost pushing Jack around this track, but Jack defends wisely. He's won races in the past. He knows what to do to be in front at the checkered flag. And for now, he holds firm. He holds 3/10 clear of Glock. Still, as down the man continues to chase after Tibos. Battles throughout the track. We've got Jordan 2-10 to drift to Jonas, but we can't move away because we've got the great scrap here for the lead of this race between Jack and Glock. And down the man still just hugging the back of that Alfa Romeo. He wants to get through into P3. Will we start to see some of these drivers make early calls for pit stops? Is it time for one of these drivers to try something a little different? Will they have the clean air to do so? Some of the drivers in the back now making their pit stops. Caught out of the points and into the pits for a new set of tyres to the end of this race. We'll keep an eye further behind. Let's quickly go back because you can see Jonas and Jordan all over the back of Jack. Jack's still just about holding on to this battle, and you can see already, I think that's the Haas and the Alpine pitting from 2nd and 4th. Glock and Dan are into the pits, and they should get clean air. Will we see Jonas and Jack dive into the pits? Yes, they do. Jack does. Jonas then therefore chooses to stay out, but he's got to defend from Jordan, who's side by side with him into turn 1. They almost come together. Brilliant race, and Jonas tries to squeeze him out.
Glock's put the hards on.
Glock's gone to the hard tyres then, so I suspect that is a game mistake. It's happened a fair few times in the last couple of games. For some reason, if you select mediums, it will just give you hards anyway. So that's not what Glock needs now on the slower tyres than what his rivals will surely go to. But Jordan still behind Jonas. Jonas shut the door at turn 1. Jordan will say, give me some more room. Jonas will say, fucking get past me, mate, cunt. And now Jonas just about holds on V6. Not sure why Jonas would say that. But
apologies for the strong language.
Apologies for strong languages. Now Jordan with his best chance on Jonas, but again Jonas shuts the door. Jordan's like, you fucking cunt, let me through, I'm going to bang your sister. And Jonas goes, alright then, bring it. They're side by side into the middle sector.
This lap, take it.
Can Jordan get through? He can. Jordan goes through, he takes the position, he takes Jonas' sister. And Jordan's through into P6. A fantastic move from the AlphaTauri. Surely Jack Hickey and Tibbles need to pit and react. They don't. They're staying out. Why? Come in. Get in front of Glock and Dan. They think Roy's going to maybe hold up Glock now. Manatee, of course, has his own race. Manatee may just want to
Fuck off.
Give us a bit of a spectacle here. Mr. Chip, I suspect, has gone wide at the final corner. Indeed, he has. Now that could be a stoppage to the race, and that could very well be the call that Alistair and Jordan would have wanted a little earlier. There is not going to be a safety car. Luca, I suspect, will now come into the pits for a new front wing, a change of tyres too. Glock is just...
to call my experience a race, but anyway.
Well, Jovial Manatee has great experience here at the Netherlands. One of his favourite circuits on the game, it has to be said. Down the man, screams in the background because he's right behind Glock, trying to get through, but both drivers are stuck behind the Manatee. Manatee fluked a dirt tile, fluked a couple of GT tiles, and now finds himself ahead of Glock and down the man. Unknown territory for Manatee in TGP1. Doesn't do too well in TGP1, never has. Not his favourite game. And Manatee in that orange helmet, continuing to hold up the two behind as Jack Hickey and Tibos now decide what to do. Tibos comes in, Hickey stays out. Hickey's setting great pace out there, so why? Just stay out, indeed. There's no reason to pit, because suddenly Glock now with a glorious chance to get through, and Manatee may just pit himself. Manatee does stay out. That's not what Glock wants to see, because Manatee will be a pain in his ass for another minute and a half. As Roy's been a pain in my ass for the last 4 years.
Oh.
Damn, the man is all over the back, and Tibos is going side by side with them. Look at this. This is worked out well good for Matt Tibos. Well, do you know it hasn't, because now he's behind Dan the man, but he could have jumped all of them. If he'd stayed out one more lap, he might have done it, because Glock and Dan are losing so much time here behind Manatee. Jack Hickey, get in the pit lane, mate. You're going to jump all these drivers. He had a 2-second lead over Tibos. who is just behind these three. We've got a McLaren spawn further behind Jack Pearson. It is, unfortunately for him, it's not going to get the points he wants. He goes wide, does Glock, and down the mouth with a chance to go through on the inside. He takes him. He takes Glock. He's into a net P2 with this race. And Matt Tibbles behind him, looking to get involved. Can Glock get straight back through again? Matt Tibbles under a threat from his teammate. Surely CJH will not race him too hard. Jack Hickey, what will he do this time round? Will he dive into the pits here in the Netherlands? I think this is actually our first ever dry Netherlands Grand Prix. We've always had rain-affected races. Both seasons on the last game went wet to dry and dry to wet. And Jack Hickey stays out for another lap. Maybe it's the right call, and maybe the likes of Jonas and Aiden could just stay out as well, because... Oh no, Glock's round in the final corner! He's spun it! He's in the wall! He's just about kept it together! The Glock is round, and championship hopes! Suddenly, an open net for Jack Hickey, and is Glock going to pit for a new front wing? Yes, he is! I don't believe it! The championship leader has thrown it away! His lead was 26 points, and I said if Jack Hickey can win this race and take the fastest lap, we'll see a change of the championship as Kieran and Alistair going side by side with P9 and P10. There's battles throughout the field. It's hard to pick one. Alistair trying to go round the outside, which becomes the inside for the next corner. And the McLaren driver almost has to give way there. They're still just together. Who's going to come out on top? It's Alistair Bain into P9. And Glock, despite crashing out, despite the spin, is still ahead of court. The Dutch fans are in absolute anger here. Their man is disappointing them yet again, as now Matt Tibbles needs to clear Manatee. Dan the man has gone through. He's taken P4 and can start to do something about Jack Hickey. Matt Tibbles will go down the inside of Joe Manatee, but he's not going to make it easy for him. Glorious chance now for Matt Tibbles to gain huge points on his title rival. Glock is 21 seconds behind the top 11 in this race. This is quite unbelievable. Not what he needs. Manatee might be actually about to pit soon to come out ahead of Glock, but Manatee's going to stay out for another lap, and we've got a yellow flag. It's not Jack Hickey, is it? Thankfully him, it's his teammate. I thought maybe the Aston Martin had gone round. Both Aston Martins now at turn 1, and Dan the man is indeed in P2, a second and a half back from Jack Hickey. And look at this, Aidan Griffins now, oh look at this, Matt Tibbles and Javel Manatee side by side as Evans, who's now back in this race too, just about on the back of CJH Leclerc. We've got two Aston Martins, two Alfa Romeos, a Ferrari and a Red Bull, all fighting here for P4 downwards. I think Aidan and Manatee might still have to pit. No, Aidan, you pitted, haven't you?
Yes.
Okay, so Aidan looking very good for another. Aidan's looking good for a very good points haul. Aidan scored the most points out of anyone in the last two races. Aidan, who just stayed out there, has overcaught all these drivers. It's word of right treat for him. Manatee will be getting a sloppy blowjob tonight because he has helped Aidan out massively. CJH defending from Evans. Tibbles all over the back of Manatee as Aidan now tries to get through on Jonas. Aidan will be shouting, Jonas, pit your nonce. And Jonas is like, no, fucking bring it, you cunt. And now Aidan tries to get through anyway on the circuit. Can he get through around the final corner? He'll have DRS, he'll have the slipstream. Better ERS management. Jonas dives into the pits anyway, I think. He gives up that one. And Tibbles. Oh, I thought Tibbles had pitted. I was like, what's he doing? But it was Joe Manatee. Tibbles now, P4, as Cena, everyone's favourite driver from VGP1 history, has joined the session just in time for the second race at Italy. Alistair, I thought he would start to clear Jordan behind him, but Alistair unable to do so at the moment. Still just about 4/10 clear, still within that DRS. Maybe Kieran is sticking with him because of the DRS that is currently in play. You can see everyone has made a stop in this race, and the biggest movers have been Kieran. We got an Alfa Romeo round, and I thought it might have been Jack Hickey. It wasn't. It was his teammate, thankfully, and I'm sorry, it's not an Alfa Romeo. It is an Aston Martin. I will get there eventually. In fact, there he is. There's Con Hoffner. You can see Manatee, 5 places gained, 4 for Kieran, 3 for Court. Inside the points again. Not quite ahead of Glock, but Glock now will start to chase down his teammate, and with the fastest lap of this race, there's an extra point for him in this championship battle with Matt Tibbles, Jack Hickey, and in fact with Dan and Aidan too. All these drivers still theoretically in with the championship chance as we almost get to the halfway point of the season. Evans trying to go round the outside of CJH at turn 1. CJH will shut that door though, and the Ferrari driver will have to wait for another opportunity to get through. You can see how much quicker he is, the Ferrari driver behind. We've got Con Hoffner spinning again for the 18th time in this race. So as Kieran tries to get through on Alistair, you can see Evans trying to get through on CJH, and CJH is not an easy car to get through.
Alistair, if Glock catches you, do not let him past.
He's 10 seconds behind me.
Alright.
Listen, Aston Martin spun again at turn 3. Have a guess. Kong Hoffner now actually out of this race. No points for him. Mr. Giapelli just outside the points positions. If he can get Jack Pearson, he will get himself back inside the top 14. Of course, top 14 score points here in TGP1. Evans will go to the outside of CJH, who tries to defend the inside line. The Ferrari driver will have faster speed. DRS, is it enough to go through? CJH will try to get back through again. And what a move from Evans. Back now into the top 5. A good move from the Ferrari driver on his debut night. Looking pretty good for a good points haul. Fantastic racing there. Evans through into the top 5, just about getting through on CJH, who is a hard driver to pass. It was a great 3-car scrap for 7th, 8th and 9th, but we're just about sticking with Matt Tibbles and Aiden for now. These two were fighting for the win at Belgium this time last week. Now they're fighting for the final podium position. Matt Tibbles will feel like it should be his. He was ahead of Aiden all race, but getting stuck behind Manassi allowed Aiden to do the overcut on a number of drivers and get through into P3.
Jack's round.
Jack Pearson's round. Giapelli is through, back into P14. Let's see if Tibbles can get close enough to Aiden. Down the start, finish straight. The Alfa Romeo driver will need this big points haul at the moment. Glock is only going to score 4 points, 3 from the position and 1 from... Oh, we got a spinner! We got a spinner, it's Roy! It's Jordan, it's Jordan! Jordan's now going to find himself behind his teammate. Of course, Giovinazzi famously doesn't spin. Especially in GT Sport.
You'd be ahead of your teammate.
Especially in GT Sport when Roy never makes any fucking mistake. Fucking hell. Tibos chasing Aiden for P3. CJH still on the back of TTG Evans. And Kieran just half a second behind Alistair. 3 massive scraps on this fight at the moment. In this race, still all to be decided. And Jack Hickey, of course, this is a very tricky circuit. Jack Hickey could very easily throw it all away. As I said, with Glock scoring 4 points at the moment. Jack Hickey on for 25. He would cut the gap from 26 to just... I don't know, about 4 points or something. It is going to be wide open with Matt Tibbles also needing to get through on Aiden if he's to close the gap even more. The top 3 are going to be so close by the end of this race. I can't wait to see the championship standings, so I'll update you on that when we get there. Mr. Giapelli having a quiet race in 14th. Mr. Giapelli, how's your race been going?
It's been going okay. I made a couple of mistakes, but it's not got the pace around here, unfortunately.
Well, CJH back into P5. He's back through on the Ferrari driver. As the McLaren Jack Pearson makes another stop, is now lapped in this race, and it looked like maybe Evan was faster than CJH, but now finds himself back behind again. Both these drivers a couple of seconds adrift of Tibbles, who himself is now just 3 tenths behind Aiden. He'll find it very hard to overtake Aiden with fresher tyres. The Red Bull driver finished 2nd and 1st in the last 2 races. Can he get a 3rd consecutive podium finish? As it has spun, and I think that might be Jonas. Jonas tactically making a mistake to give the position to his teammate. Well, some would say that's out of order, but Jonas now into P12 as Glock gains another point in this championship.
These things happen in F1.
Be sure to catch the Hooter Putin tonight. It's going to be a great Hooter Putin of this race. Matt Tibbles almost sliding the car and losing the back end, spinning round. But thankfully for him, is okay. But unfortunately, because of that, it's now going to be too far adrift of Aiden to try and get through. What about Matt's teammate CJH? Can he hold back the Ferrari? We've seen these 2 cars swap positions twice already. Will we see a 3rd change in as many laps? Matt Tibbles gets a good view of this from behind as CJH and Evan come very close, and they're still side by side. The Ferrari driver just about holding on. CJH will have the outside for the next corner, but Evan back through, back into P5. A great scrap between these two. What a race! A battery completely empty for CJH as he gets out of line and almost spins himself round there. You do not want to go offline in that corner. Very easy to find yourself spinning round. Jack Hickey has just 1.5 more laps to negotiate. He just needs to get to the end to take a huge victory towards this championship. Jonas has made another pit stop. Mr. Giapelli has gained an extra point. I think, unfortunately for Jack, a bit too far back to gain a point from Jonas. Now, Jonas can get the fastest lap here. He could take the point off his teammate. But of course, we all know Jonas is playing for his teammates to win the championship, so I'd be very surprised if he does.
Abort fast as lap.
Aboard fastest lap, Jonas. Aboard fastest lap. Matt Tibos 4 tenths behind Aiden this time round. Is he close enough? The battery life is not good if you're an Alfa Romeo fan. He has completely emptied it, which is good news for Aiden, who in front of him has a little bit more with 10%. Matt Tibos is going to find it very hard to get through here. Kieran just 2 tenths adrift of Alistair. Can he get through on the second Red Bull drive? Red Bull, of course, leading the Constructors' Championship. I can confirm that the gap would still be in Red Bull's favour as things stand. Alistair scoring a good points haul at the moment with 8. Aiden on for 15, so 23 points for Red Bull, 25 currently for Aston Martin, and only about 5-6 points for Haas. So has Aiden done enough to keep P3? It'll be another fantastic result from the young Scot. But it's Jack Hickey who's got a yellow flag further back, not sure what that's for. No one seems to be in any sort of incident, so we're all okay. Manatee ahead of his teammate.
Oh no!
Dalaman's ran out of fuel! I don't believe it! And Aiden's going to take P2! Matt Tibos is going to take P3! Dan the man, what are you doing? But Jack Hickey, what a performance! What a race! What a drive from the young Englishman! Jack Hickey wins the Aston Martin in James Bond week! What a performance! Matt Tibos just about missed out. Evan's going to get 4th in the end. CJ8 gets 5th. Dan the man crawls home for 6th. Let's go further back. As the same's happened to Kieran. All these drivers are running out of fuel. Manatee will take P8. And this is good news for Glock. Can Glock catch Kieran across the line? It's going to be very close. Kieran struggling to get there. Glock almost crashes at the final corner trying to catch him. He finishes P11, loses the wheel on the line. What the Haas mechanics are going to want to see. Does Jonas take the fastest lap on the last lap? Let's have a look. It's not a purple medal sector, is it? He's 7 tenths up on his quickers. Can he take the point away from his teammate? But Dan the man, how do you forget to look at your fuel?
I put 18.5 laps in, and it went with half a lap to go.
Well, it's good for the championship anyway, so that works out quite well. And Jonas, is he going to take the fastest lap from his teammate across the line? Don't think he did, but he does get the final point for P14, so he doesn't leave this week completely empty-handed.
It was 18 laps. I put 18.5 laps of fuel in.
Manatee, driver of the day again. Unbelievable.
Needed.
Jack Hickey is your victor at the Netherlands. It's hoot to Putin all round. With Aiden and Matt Tibos on the podium. Aiden hasn't finished lower than second in each of the last 3 races. Is Aiden going to be a late charge for the championship? Because Glock keeps making mistakes. That points gap, which was 26, is going to be a lot shorter now. Jack Hickey with a huge statement of intent with that victory here in the Netherlands.
Thanks, Dan.
Well, the fastest lap did go to Glock, who did finish P11. So he still scores 5 points from not a totally disastrous race, but he does lose 20 to Jack Hickey. So the gap has gone from 26 to 6 points. This championship is wide open. And don't forget Matt Tibos, who's only a point behind Jack, is also now just 11 behind him. So it's wide open. 16 points covers the top 3. What a race it was. And you can see the final positions. Kieran did about get that top 10 despite running out of fuel. Court, I think he can leave this track without being mobbed because he did at least score some points in the Alpine.
Hey!
P12 for him, 3 points. And Jonas did get that final position.
How does that even happen? How do you run out of fuel with it?
I don't get it either, because I gain fuel.
I was on 19 laps of fuel, and I was down to plus 0.06 at the line.
Unbelievable. 18.5 laps I put in, and then I
I
ran
hit
out, and
19,
it was going down and down all through the race, and then was in the red for like the entire second half, and I was like, oh my god.
I had the same. I had 18.2, and it just kept raining, as if it was a wrong estimation.
Unbelievable.
Fucked up, didn't I? Classic.
Yeah, by the way, I lifted at the very last moment of that race.
Are you serious? Why?
No.
I was going to say it doesn't make a difference because you would have got the point for your team anyway. Well, we're off to Italy.
I kept my foot down.
Do 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 do. Huda Putin. Let's then go through the championship standings. What a race we saw in the Netherlands. Went out the halfway point and just 16 points separate the top three. I honestly cannot call it. It's Glock who leads the way, just 5 clear of Jack Hickey, who has just won his second race of the season. So many different winners this season. It's been absolutely fantastic. We're still yet to get our 7th victor of the season, but 6 out of the first 11 isn't too bad, is it? In fact, I do apologise. That's Jack Hickey's first win of the season. He wins, he becomes the 7th victor. I don't know my stats. Jack Hickey becomes the 007 winner in his Aston Martin. The 7th victor of this season. What a season we're having. That's 7 winners in the last 9 races.
Muslim Championship.
Incredible stuff. Championship's very close. So with Jack Hickey finally getting that first win of the season, Jack Hickey is now 5 points adrift of Glock, and we'll get the full standings to you very shortly.
Because I know it was 20 off Hickey's. So.
Must like sums up my season because I had the Austria and Silverstone with the penalties that I was first across the line. Now this.
Imagine if fucking I didn't desync in Austria. I'd be in there too.
My start then was fucking unreal, by the way. Jesus.
I went through the Alonso line. I
overtook what the fuck Leclerc was doing, by the way. He went to turn 1, didn't brake until halfway through it, and then decided to start turning. Obviously.
Well, leave it for the stewards, Aiden. That's for the stewards.
Yeah.
Oh, he knew what he was doing.
There's a way to save replays, right?
Are you guys readying up, or are we waiting for someone?
Oh, really? Yeah.
We've more drivers than we had in the last one, so I'm assuming we're all here.
Yeah, let's go then. Roy needs to ready up. Dan needs to ready up. John needs to ready up. I'll get the points to you very shortly.
I pitted early, still came up behind Alistair, and then fucking spun it on the exit attempt. What was that bad?
I think some drivers will be very happy with me, others not so much.
Oh right, I fucking love you.
These things happen in Formula 1.
I was good through one corner. I was the penultimate one.
So then, as we head to the 12th round of the season, we start the second half of this thrilling TGP1 campaign, and the championship is just as close. The top 4...
Halfway, bloody hell.
The top 4 of Aiden, Alistair? The top 4 of Aiden, Matt, Jack and Glock are now separated by just 29 points. It is completely wide open. Glock, 153, 6 clear of Jack Hickman, who has 1, 4, 7, 11 clear of Matt Tibos, the 2-time champion, 3rd overall, and keeping in touch and just 12 points behind him with a fantastic streak of podium finishes. Aiden Griffins. It's 4 drivers from 4 different teams, all fighting for this championship, and less than 30 points. Cover them all at the halfway stage.
I was ready up, you cunt. Thank you.
Go away for rain.
It's wet! Oh, it's good.
Oh,
whoa.
It's
very dark.
Oh, it's one of these things where it's like pitch black in the pit lane, but as soon as you go out, it'll be fucking gorgeous sunshine.
Yeah.
Right. Fucking
Pardon, let's go.
Hoot the fucking Putin.
Ah, hootin' Putin.
Is that gonna go up? Let's say 45% in like 5 minutes.
It's worth pointing out in Spa it was meant to rain.
Yep, cheers, Sean. We were there.
And it did.
Well, we weren't in there, but we, you know. Also, don't let the front right hit that orange curve, let the floor hit the orange curve.
What am I waiting for?
What do you mean the time being?
Was that a glitch where I was waiting for my own teammate and he was waiting for me?
It's been a thing.
Yeah, then I had it.
Yeah, it's 100% a thing.
Hang on a minute, I don't want to fucking toe Glock here.
I'm falling for the flow!
Go past, thank you. Oh god, CJ's lag. Please!
Apparently dries seem like the fastest tyre.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, I can see why.
So is it actually wet or?
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
Vettel's out and wet.
Roy's in the late car and making a shit choice.
Gonna be up for the spin off, eh?
Right down.
Oh,
to
so
the-
you could have given me the toll.
What are you gonna say, Roy? Backing off?
oh, no, well, a little bit, but I was going to say I suggest giving me a wide berth here.
Fucking hell.
Oh my! Forget up there. No,
Millions of dog shit.
Does this thing want to fucking grip up? Jesus Christ.
Excellent commentary provided by Dom Smith.
it's an audio overlap.
Maybe.
Yeah, but aren't they supposed to talk over those?
Well, we do most of the time.
Then are you
Don't
on
know how
a lap?
that went.
Yeah, I'm on a lap.
Okay, you want a tow?
No grip. Well, I mean, it's not really massive, to be honest, because there's just no grip on these mediums.
No, it's not, is it? None.
Thank you.
Look at Jonas. Oh, tiny.
He's on a slow lap. I've really passed him into turn.
Shy
one.
jobby, right? John, look, really.
You on a lap now, Kurt?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Did I just see that right?
Yeah, I
Kieran's
did see
gone
that, didn't I?
fucking fastest.
Cole's
fuck is
P3, Jordan's P4.
Yeah, but Kong shows moments of pace. Kieran shows moments of racing with Jack. On
Well,
the
been-
He was racing with Alistair in the last race, and then he ran out of fuel.
He was nowhere though.
I was racing there still in the summer.
I've got a question. How do you run out of fuel now?
Two drivers did it.
Be me.
And it was very nearly free.
Because you can't turn anything down. If you do risk running fuel, you're fucked.
But I wasn't even really low on fuel. I mean, I was.
Because I went 19.7 laps or something, or 18.7, and I
Jesus.
just were like plus 10 or something.
So I went 18.5 and I was on minus 40, I think. That by the line.
Okay, it must be 19.7 then, because I crossed the line like 18, 0.18.
Oh, and that's completely drained the tank there. Jesus Christ. Oh dear, I'm gonna run out. Oh no. Oh, 20.2. Jesus.
Fill in the void with for Dom's commentary with Owen's career mode.
I thought you were about to say fill in the void with Dom's cock there.
Let's hope the stream is paused.
No,
It's
still
not.
going.
It sounded like that's what you were about to say.
I can't, I've got no fuel scene, I've got
Then
past.
corrected yourself.
Come on, paper cups.
I'm out of fuel, please. No, don't stop behind me, I've got no fuel. Oh, you Abu.
Yourself. Alistair Bain starts his first time lap in this session. The Red Bull team.
Fuel kid.
I don't think that's got any fuel. Not sure he's mentioned it yet. The Red Bull team looking to keep their constructors' lead in the championship. Alistair Bain needs to get himself up near the top. Aidan Griffin's the race at lap time so far, currently down in 12th. Jack Hickey, we saw his lap. He's just 0.02 of a second clear of Tibos. So CJH, Corey Maker and Alfa Romeo 2-3. Of course, always dangerous to have two drivers of similar speeds in the same team, because any sort of safety car or VSC, when one of you wants to dive into the pits, usually one of you has to stay out or queue up behind your teammate. That's who Alistair going to do then. He had set a time in this session, currently occupying the 9th row of this grid. Looked quick though in recent races. Alistair really impressing. A former TGB2 champion, as are a number of drivers in this lobby. A lot of drivers started out in TGB2, gone on to progress to the top tier. Alistair Bain, finally, this with his best season, you have to say, so far in the top league.
Yeah, he's already passed last season's points total.
Oh, there you go. Already the halfway point of the season has surpassed the points total of the previous season. And where can he go with this time lap? To the line. Where can the Red Bull driver find himself? Is it inside the top 10? It is. It's P6, just inside the 3rd row of the grid. 0.04 of a second, clear of Kong.
Oh, so give me total cover ground.
Okay. And now his teammate Aidan Griffins, who's somehow finding himself back in this championship fight, will now try and gain a toe from his teammate.
A toe from his bro.
Jack Hickey, Matt Tibbars, CJH, the top 3 at present. Jordan, an excellent P4, and Kieran.
Oh my fucking god.
Thank you.
Somehow inside that top 5. Jonas has spun. We're about to see it. Aidan Griffin to the toe from his teammate, and there's a Has right in the way. Thankfully gets out of the way. Jonas not what he needs in this qualifying session. Currently P8, still inside the top half, but he knows he can go a little bit quicker than Nat and Glock. P12 at the moment. He needs to find some time too. Cam goes quick as a 120.1. It's been a while since we've seen him on pole position, a few weeks in fact. Cam already has 2 poles this season, Jack. Aidan Griffins looking quick at the moment, finding time. It's been a good first sector. His previous lap wasn't really anything to go by already. You can see almost 2 seconds adrift of Cam's 20.1. This is looking good though for the Red Bull driver, and much smoother than the previous run. We'll flick to Glock soon after him, because he's also out there on a lap at the moment, finding time as well. We're hearing first sector's purple for Glock. Where can Aidan go? He goes into the top 4. It's a much better time from the Red Bull driver. So let's turn to Glock. A purple first sector. What was the second sector? Can Glock find himself right back at the front again? He needs a result here, having spun out of P2 in the previous race. The Haas driver needs a reaction. 121.2, the quickest so far for him. He needs to find a full second to go on pole, and he does just that. 119.8, the Haas driver, back where he feels he'll belong, at the very front. TTG Evans had a great first race, finishing in the top 5 in TGB1. He goes up into P8, qualifying pretty similar to his previous race.
I just fucking towed Kieran down half the lap.
7!
What a fucking boy.
Manatee into the dizzy heights of P6, down the man. I've not mentioned it before, but the best qualifier of all time in TGB1 history. He's had about 81 poles. No surprise to see Court down in 18th. Thankfully for him, the Dutch fans haven't even bothered coming to Monza. They thought, what's the point? We don't have any worthy driver to follow in TGB1. They're praying for Tinners or Elite Dave to return. Or in fact, Isaac. Remember Isaac?
They're all still drunk from the Dutch Grand Prix.
Indeed they are. So CJH needs to find a bit of time to get himself back into the top several places. This is a lap time he is going to complete, so it must be an improvement, surely. And he goes 3rd. What a lap. CJH ahead of his teammate.
Already.
Not for the first time. Down the man is out of fuel tonight. So the driver's then returning back to the pits in this session. Jack Hickey, let's go on board with him, because he is finding time out there. He's purple in the middle sector. He should have time to complete this, get back to the pits for one more final run. Of course, all these drivers will get 3 sets of soft tyres and a set of mediums. And you could get around 4 laps here at this circuit, but of course, only 3 of them can be on the soft. So most drivers start the session with the medium tyres. Jack Hickey is going to complete the lap. Where can he go? Can he get himself back to the front? It's P2. It's the front row of the grid. He'll be happy with that. But still, a couple of tenths adrift of Glock's 19.8.
Oh dear. Oh.
Oh, why does it take so long to get in the pit lane? Hold.
If I come in now, I've got enough for 2 in and out. So
Probably not if you're coming in there. No. If you want the toll, take it. Just keep up with me on there, because I want another turn. Oh fuck, who's this?
Oh shit.
I don't know.
Oh,
okay, that's getting forward. Can't be doing that in TGP1.
Tibbars dives into the pit lane then, so all these drivers will have 5 minutes to go in this session.
Driver just cutting across the whole chicane field out to get around.
Well, Aiden, as I said before, that's one for the stewards, not the chat.
Didn't put it in the chat.
In the party chat. CH then, about to start his next time lap, 120.028. Only 100th behind Jack Hickey in the Aston Martin, having won his first race of the season, and quite a performance too, to find himself just 6 points behind Glock in the championship standings. And CJH returning to the pits, he's out of fuel, so he will try and get one more lap in this session. Well, we got a spinner, and it's the Ferrari in front of his adoring fans, New Zealand Cam, keeping out of the way of those currently, I think on that laps anyway, Dan and the Mercedes in front of him, which I believe is Mr. Chiafelli. So not what Cam needs in this session, still top 5, but that's going to destroy his tyres, and he may have to come back to the pits to get a new set as Kong Hofner goes through, try and get himself inside that top 10. No, he don't, needs to find 5 tenths if he's to get himself on that front row. He has Alistair right behind him, trying to get some sort of distant tow, and you can see the Alpine just ahead of both Red Bulls. Canadian get a nice little tow from that. Court is AI for some reason, according to my screen. I think that might be a glitch.
Oh,
I lost force feedback.
Such a tight and twisty section that, so easy to lose the back end. Aiden's lost the time, he's probably gained in the first sector. The Red Bull driver may just dive back into the pits to go again. I don't think he's going to find too much time. He's still 5 tenths of a second away from the pole lap. 119.8 is still the benchmark for these drivers to try and beat his time. Tickles down in this session, 3 minutes to go. Where can Aiden go? Isn't it improvement on that 120.3? It is by 2 tenths into P6 as Alistair stays just inside the top 10 with the exact same lap time as Kieran, who's just about to leave the pit lane.
Where's Kai? Where the fuck are you, geezer?
Well, he may have disappointed his brother. He may have disappointed the Dutch fans. He may well have disappointed his girlfriend at some time. But Court trying to put on a show here at Monza. P18 at the moment. Well, a sexy man like you, Court, I assume would be taken. But apparently not.
Not anymore.
Ah, Court, I do apologise. It's a shame. We love you, Court, here in the TGP Series. I'll take it all back. Court, a respectable driver in the TGP Series. Always rated him. Can't wait for GT Sport to return to see Court finishing second many more times.
Of course.
Well, Court's 2 seconds down. He's not finding any time out there.
I'm not on the lap.
Well, it's hard to know with you, Court, because commercial laps are pretty slow anyway.
I'm starting a lap now.
Okay, well, let's stick with the Dutch missile then. Court, 121.2, needs to find a 10th, and he could get himself to the dizzy heights of top 16. What can Court do in this Alpine? Let's go on board a lap with this legend, the brother of an esports champion. Still counts. Court has championship blood in his veins. The Alpine taking us on a tour of this Monza circuit. The tempo, the speed. Aiden Griffiths is out of this session. He will not be finding an improvement on that current P6 of his. He'll be praying that those behind do not find the time that he was unable to find himself. Court, what's that first sector going to be? He crosses line. He's already 3 tenths up. That'd put himself right into 16th position. Needs to run a couple more attempts though to clear Jordan, Chiapelli and Jonas. We expect all those drivers though will find time themselves. Yellow flag in the final sector. That's just Glock preparing for his final run in this session. Both Haas drivers starting their final times. Court just about keeps it within limits not to get an invalidated lap time. Cam's also not going to improve. He starts no higher than P5. The top four of Tibor, CJ, Jack and Glock may be safe. Down the man is 2/10 adrift of those behind. And let's see if Court is going to find more improvement on this lap. He's found time in the first sector, a bit more in the second sector. Is it going to be enough for the Alpine to get himself into the top 12? One more corner to get through. The Parabolica. A lot of drivers struggling around here with setup. Not one that seemed to be a problem for Court. Crosses the line. Where can he go? From P18 up to P15. What a lap. And Jonas, let's see what he's complaining about. Don't see much issue with him. And I was going to go to Jack Hickey. Because Jonas said something, I thought, oh, maybe Jonas had a crash. I went to Jonas. No, nothing happened to Jonas. I missed Jack Hickey, taking the fastest time. Thank you, Jonas. Glock's invalidated. He's not going to be improving. CJH is also invalidated. Matt Tibbers has invalidated as well. Down the man's just gone on to P6. Manatee, what can he do? He's finding time. A lot of these drivers are not going to be able to set their final laps. Jack Hickey looks safe. Where's this pace come from all of a sudden? He hadn't won a race all season, and suddenly a win here will put him in the lead of the championship. Manatee almost losing the back end of that AlphaTauri, just about holding it on. He currently starts P10. He's going to have to start on the same set of tyres anyway as things stand, unless anyone else out there can find much more time. Look at Kieran, not getting a massive tow from his teammate this time. Maybe Jack's getting the favour this time round. Let's see what Jonas can do. He goes no higher than 13th. Glock back into the pits, having not gone quicker, and Manatee has lost all of his pace, all of his time. He's invalidated, and that is a very anticlimactic way to end qualifying. Unless Cork can pull something extreme out of the bag. Look at him. He's flying around this circuit. Can the Alpine get himself on pole position? A 1:19.7 to beat? And no, he can't, because 1:19.7 is already surpassed. He's not even at the final straight yet. Let's see. Oh, he dives into the pit lane. Court will start this Grand Prix from a season best P15.
That's not true.
I'll make up the stats here, Jack Hickey. I'll make up the stats.
Fucking state of that. Jeez.
How close it is. Well, actually, really, from third to like what, 13th, it's pretty close.
Maybe mile at the back.
We got some good news for our younger viewers. I do have some good news. Alex Afro has taken a 20-second segment from my commentary in the last race and made it a censored version. I may have used a few bad language, and I do apologise for that. Here is the censored version for those of you under the age of 18. Just helped Aiden out massively. CJ Hayes defending from Evans. Timmos all over the back of Manatee as Aiden now tries to get through on Jonas. Aiden will be shouting, Jonas, pick your and Jonas won't Get through around the final corner, he'll have DRS, he'll have a slipstream. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, kids. There's the censored version of my commentary. There'll be no
I don't
more.
swear that much, do I?
I think it's me. I think I'm the one swearing, Jonas. Oh, there's a second part. There's a second part. This word right shriek from Manatee, who'll be getting a sloppy tonight because he Well, there you go.
That's amazing.
I do thank you to Alex Afro for not only censoring it, but also highlighting that video to my boss. So whether I've got a job in the morning or not, we'll find out. I'm going to have to be careful what I say. Careful what you say.
Sacked in the morning. I'm sacked in the morning.
Well, the championship standings are as close as ever. 6 points the difference between Glock and Jack, and it's Jack who starts on pole position. If he wins this race ahead of his rival, and Glock takes the fastest lap, they're tied on points going into the final 5 weeks of the season. And don't forget Matt Tibbers. Matt's only a further 11 behind. Even Aidan Griffin's a further 12 behind him. 29 points is the difference between the top four in this championship. And Alistair, 5th in the championship, still has a chance himself. Alistair! Down the man. Also just 3 points behind the Scot. However, will rue the points that he lost in the last race, thrown away a P2, losing 9 points in the process. We're about to go racing.
Fuel in the car this time.
I hope Dan's got fuel. We're about to go racing at Monza. Lights on and lights off. A fantastic start again from the Aston Martin. A clean one from Jack Hickey. Just what he needed on this long run down to turn one. The Mercedes in the background trying to stay clear of everyone else. And look at that speed from Glock. Straight away up the inside of Jack Hickey. He's done it into the lead of this race as Matt Tibbles tries to get through on his teammate CJH side by side. The Child from Romeo's looks like Dan the Man may have gone across the curbs at turn 1, trying to keep out of trouble. It's pretty safely through this race. You can see the strategy on your screens. Medium tyres will be the most respectful one, I think, between all these drivers, but it's Glock ahead of Jack Hickey, crucially ahead of his title rival, with CJH behind him, and the two Ferraris are going side by side. As Cam almost spins it, trying to race Evans, who's going side by side with Aiden, the Ferrari and the Red Bull, getting very racy here on the opening lap. CJH is going side by side with his teammate. These two are fighting for a Constructors' Championship. They need to be very careful. And the bad news for Tibbles is he's now behind his rival Cam. We saw him go off in the background into the gravel, has lost a few places. Mr. Chiapelli will want to get through on his teammate as soon as he possibly can on the what am I trying to say? On the diffuser of his teammate. Luca around the outside. 2 cars into here won't work, surely. Oh, yes, it does. Mr. Chiapelli through into the top 10. What a move from the Manxman. Inside that top 10. Let's go further up the field because Matt Tibbles is trying to get back through on his teammate. CJH holding on to third for now. The 12 Romeos. We're seeing teammates go side by side throughout the field. The 2 Mercedes, the 12 Romeos, and Aidan Griffin's getting a great view behind this, but it's Matt Tibbles just about keeping in touch with his teammate. Already a second clear his Glock of his rival. CJH can't really do much about this now. Matt Tibbles at much straighter speed. The 2 Alfa Romeos still side by side. They might be trying to fight for the Constructors' Championship, but they're going wheel to wheel for the final podium place here at Monza. Matt Tibbles, though, has the inside of the next corner, and he's through again, and that's going to be a safety car, is it? I don't think so. All the cars seem to bunch up, so I thought maybe we were going to see a safety car. Aidan Griffin says thank you very much and takes 2 places in 1 corner. TTG Evans is now all over the back of the Alfa Romeo of CJH. These 4 cars are so close on track. This surely cannot end well. They dive into the chicane and they're still single file. Brilliant racing. Glock leads from Jack. Aidan up to third again. And Matt Tibbles all over the back of the Red Bull driver with cars all together here in the midfield as Mr. Chiapelli finds himself spinning round and now at the rear of the field.
No rear grip there.
I don't know what Cena was trying to do there, but that was just stupid.
Glock has a 1.6 second lead. The pace that Jack Hickey had in qualifying doesn't appear to have copied over to the race. We've got Jonas down in 14th, trying to fight Court in a points position. Don't get too used to that, Court. Jack Pearson trying to get through, and Alistair, who himself is all over the back of Cena. Jack Pearson with a great view of this, and we've got a Jonas spinning in the background. Jonas having a fantastic evening. Only scored 1 point at the last race. Might not be getting too much more here as Jack Pearson tries to go up the inside of Alistair, the Red Bull driver, looking to defend the Constructors' lead that the Red Bull team currently have. Can Pearson get through on Bain? Bain as well getting the toe, the slipstream, everything from Cena. Cena is going to find this hard to defend into turn 1. Both Alistair and Jack Pearson are going to go for it, surely. Alistair tries to break later, and what's happened to Dan the Man?
No, it's just watching all ever ahead of me.
Kong Hoffner's in 5th. What's going on? Kong Hoffner's in 5th. Kong Hoffner, who's about scored 3 points all season, is suddenly P5 in this race. The Aston Martins are 2nd and 5th. Wow, is Jack Hickey going to win 2 consecutive Constructors titles? His new teammate, Kong Hoffner, in the first week into P5. Kong Hoffner, with 5 weeks previously at another team, now finds himself in the mix here. Maybe Aston Martin was the team he needed. Dan the Man, 410, look at his train from sort of CJH backwards in P3. Aiden trying to get through on CJH. Matt Tibbles still sticking with all of this. How CJH is ahead of all these cars, I don't know. But this is brilliant viewing for Glock and Jack Hickey, who, of course, are pulling away and going to take a Mabel charge in this championship. Kong Hoffner, if he gets 4th, I'm going to have to lie down for a bit. I can't quite believe what I'm saying. Oh! Court's what was happening to Court, but I don't care, Court. You're not worth it. You're not worth it. You're down in 11th. CJH stays out for another lap. All these drivers not pitting just yet, but they may have to soon if all these cars are going to start sticking together. There's a bit of weaving down the straight down here. Can Aiden get through on CJH? The Red Bull driver, clearly the quicker car. He'll try the outside, which will become the inside for the next corner. This is, of course, where Hamilton and Verstappen came together. Aiden's through, but CJH back through again. They're still side by side. Can Aiden get him? Now on the run down to the chicane as Kong Hoffner tries to get involved. Aiden needs to be careful of Kong behind because the Aston Martin has some incredible speed in that car. CJH goes left. Aiden will have to go right, and Kong just sits behind, waits for these two to maybe collide. Aiden over the curbs. Aiden over the curbs, and Cam has unfortunately backed out of this race. He is out. P18 for him, and there goes Dan the Man up into P5. Good move from the Alpine. Opportunistic as well, making benefits with those cars ahead, all fighting for position. So Glock from Jack, CJH in 3rd, Aiden down the top 5, and Kong, TGG Evans and Manatee all still with this. Look at this, every car we flick to is within range of another car. DRS active. All these vehicles are going to have DRS, maybe down the man. Oh, down the man's round! The Alpine's off! He just about keeps all four wheels on his wagon, but that's not what he needed in this race. He gets going again, but he's miles behind. He's now outside the top 10, and I can't quite believe what I'm seeing again, because Court's in 10th. Court's in 10th. The Dutch fans who didn't bother to turn up for this race are kicking themselves because their home hero is finally in his 8-year career in TGP, finally putting on a show for the fans. Aidan Griffin's is going to try going around CJH. Jonas has just forgotten that there's no stats this week. CJH, I think, is lagging there. Looks like he's disconnected from the session. That's not what he needs. Kong Hoffner now will try to get through. Court is getting very close to Jordan. In fact, he's right behind the AlphaTauri. Court, what's going on? Have you handed the controller to your esports champion brother? I can't quite believe what I'm saying. CJH is sure not going to go for it. He's miles back. That's not going to work. If he spins himself around, he's got himself to blame. He's lost the place to Kong Hoffner, who's into 4th. Kong Hoffner's into 4th. As CJH tries to defend from Evan and just about stays ahead. The Ferrari not quite able to get through. There's battles throughout the field. Fantastic racing as now Evan almost loses the back end, but down the man, P14. What happened, Dan?
I just hit the curb and just lost it, and I was struggling a lot in the corners anyway, and I just thought I could maybe try and get Aiden in the clear and lost it.
Manatee P7, Kong P4. Down the man, down in P6, 14. Just about holding on to the final points position. I don't think Dan is damaged though, I think he's okay.
No, somehow I didn't get damaged.
Well, we finally see the Red Bull and the Alfa Romeo, who's just picked up a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and the Ferrari dive into the pit lane. Jack Pearson now into P5. Manatee up to 4th. Of course, these drivers yet to make pit stops in this race. You can see the gains that Jack Pearson has made. 13 positions gained in this race. What a start it's been from the McLaren driver, a former TGP2 champion himself. Matt Tibbles now with the fastest lap on a new set of medium tyres. He's already made a stop in this race and he's already ahead of Aidan Griffins and Evan. So maybe, and that could be a safety car. It could help his teammate massively. And Jonas has just helped his teammate, some would say, once again, how convenient. Because Glock is now going to get a free pit stop because Jonas chose to retire on circuit. And this means Glock now can get a free pit stop over all of his rivals. Jonas, what are your thoughts on that one?
I think he went for an ice cream.
Well, anyone that stayed out will be praying thank you. And Glock and Jack Hickey and Kong Hoffman as well. All these drivers are going to get free pit stops.
Actually, no, don't.
And Court,
depends how much they'll lose.
I can't believe this. Jonas has just helped his teammate massively. I think Jonas is going to have a lot of friends further down the field, and Aidan, Evan, Matt Tibbles, Alistair, Cena, Luca and Dan, who had already made their stops in this race. Aidan, what are your thoughts on Jonas crashing out on circuit and bringing out a safety car?
Can't.
And try to throw penalty for Alistair for speeding under the safety car. Alistair Bain has thrown away a glorious chance. He might as well pick for a new set of softs now. The Red Bull driver throwing it away. Kong Hoffner won't lose too much time, thankfully for him.
Safety car.
I forgot about that one.
Alistair Bain throwing away points for Red Bull. It's not going to be. Hang on a minute. Jovial Manatee is going out of the pit lane. He's not going to be 4th, is he? Jovial Manatee is in P4 on the soft tyres. Are we going to see Manatee win a race in TGP1?
No.
Wow. Manatee, thoughts, comments, concerns?
Well, firstly, I hate to disappoint you.
You're on the mediums, yeah.
But, let's wait and see.
Well, anything can happen in TGP, and it usually does. Mr. Chiapelli, who came in, I don't know why, is now sped in the pit lane. We'll have to come in again, search that penalty.
I came in as soon as the safety car came out. I was right by the pit lane, so I thought I might as well just come in now.
Well then, all the drivers now have made their stops in this race. It's Glock who does lead from Jack Hickey. All these drivers in the top 7 on medium tyres. Jack Pearson, P7. Kong Hoffner, P5. Manatee, P4. It's a completely mixed up grid here, but it's still the top 3 in the championship. Somehow, top 3 in this race. I thought Matt Tibbles was going to lose out massively because of that safety car, but he's just about being able to stay clear of those drivers, especially helped by Kong Hoffner slightly having to wait for his teammate to exit the pit lane. So a bit of a gap there for the Aston Martin driver, which allowed Manatee to get himself into 4th place. And Jonas has returned. We can hear him because Jonas' mic makes an awful racket when he uses it. Jonas, what happened?
Just the fucking car just lost it on the Scar. It's nothing they're gonna fucking done. It's a joke. It's an absolute fucking joke of a game.
We need Alex Afro to censor that out again for our under 18 viewers. Fortunately, I do apologise for Jonas' language. Very disrespectful of Jonas to swear and use foul language on a stream. I'm absolutely disappointed in Jonas. We've got a few drivers making a pit stop. CJH is going to come in and serve that 5-second penalty he got earlier on for speeding in the pits. We'll have one more lap behind this safety car. We've also got Alistair. I think Alistair's coming to serve that drive-through, but unfortunately for him, that's not how it works.
Safety car.
Unfortunately for Alistair, that's not how it works.
So you can't take a drive-through and a safety car.
No. Time penalties. But not time
Well, there's a new thing for you then.
I wish Alistair had come into the pits and sped in the pit lane trying to serve his drive-through. Alistair's retired. He's out of the race. He's out of the race. No points for Alistair Bain. I would have continued just in case anyone else retired from that race.
Flap or something.
Fortunately for Alistair, no points for him here at Monza. Well, these things happen in Formula 1.
Like, I've taken the hit. I've lost 2 positions to go back on soft.
Alistair, Jean.
It's not just me who's heard microphone break up there when Aiden's talking, is it?
Yeah, someone's mic just died. I don't know who it was. I don't think it was Aiden. It could have been anyone's, but it just went a massive scream.
I'll watch that back in the stream.
Apologies for the reference that usually only one other person gets.
Can we just race, please? Needed.
Safety car is coming in this lap.
Safety car.
We will have 5 laps to the end. It is a TGB sprint here, sponsored by BetNoon. Glock is going to lead the drivers away once that Mercedes safety car pulls into the pit lane. Of course, Evan, Kieran, Cena and Mr. Chiapelli, as well as Court, all with penalties in this race. They will drop positions towards the end, which will be good news for those like Aiden and Dan who can find themselves much higher up come the end of this race.
I'll get removed. I think it's someone being a mom.
Well, Glock finally is about to set them away again to take the lead of this race, take control of this final 5-lap sprint as we do a roll and start to get racing once again. Matt Tibbles will try and get Jack Hickey as Glock is just about to finally go. There he goes, he releases the throttle. He did it at the perfect time, and Jack Hickey might now be under threat from Tibbles behind him. Matt Tibbles just 2 tenths adrift of Jack Hickey. Can he get down to turn 1? Can Jack Hickey get Glock himself? Not quite. Kong Hoffner trying to get through. Andre Will Manatee. Manatee, though, is wise to that and keeps hold of P4 for now as Evan tries to get through on the Alpha Aston Martin driver. I will get there by the end of the season, I promise. Caught racing Jack Pearson, caught with a penalty himself, but through on the McLaren driver. And if he can pull clear, in fact, look at that. Evan right in front of him as Kong Hoffner continues to try and get through on Manatee, but Jack Hickey still in P2, crucially. Matt Tibbles in 3rd. All the drivers safely through the chicane, a very tight and twisty part of the track, especially on never mind, I've jinxed it, down the round. Again, it's going to be another disappointing points haul for Dan tonight.
Thingy's car and Saab pod and spun.
Well, down the man's round, P15 at the moment, that puts CJH into the top 14, the Alfa Romeo driver. We'll get there eventually. Kong Hoffner, though, needs to get through on Manatee. He can see that Evan is right behind him, but the good news for him is Evan and Court both have time penalties. Court really needs these drivers to separate. Otherwise, he's going to find himself.
2 people, they can't deal with it, so they just fun.
Holy shit.
Glock, Jack Hickey, Tibos, Manatee, Kong Hoffner, the top 5 with now 4 laps to go in this race. Can Evan get through on Kong? Kong was all over the back of Manatee, but suddenly the Ferrari driver is now attacking the Aston Martin. I got it right this time because I can see the name on the back of the car. Can Evan get through? Round the outside into turn 1, he'll break it a little bit later. The Manatee right ahead of him might have been giving him a distant toe actually. Kong Hoffner, though, he knows his racecraft, another former TGP2 champion, and keeps hold of P4. Jordan's made a mistake further back.
People are just letting me through.
Jordan's gone wide. Aiden's now back into PA. Aiden's championship hopes taking a huge hit here, especially if Glock wins this race. Kong Hoffner looking to get through on the AlphaTauri. This would be some result for Roy. A season best 4th if he can finish that. Already a couple of 5th and 6th places. As,
Somebody else yeah,
and Alfa Romeo in the background has gone wide. CJH missed the chicane, so chose to take the escape road. And I'm sure he'll try and appeal that penalty later on as Kong goes wide, Evan goes through, and Court will try to do the same as well. Court side by side with Kong Hoffner, the Dane and the Dutchman, going wheel to wheel. The Ferrari giving Court a distant tow in front. Is this going to end nicely for who? Kong Hoffner just about ahead of Court, who I think is on the soft tyres. That's why Court's so quick at the moment, because he has the quicker tyres.
Luca's off now.
Luca's off further behind as Court tries to go through on Kong Hoffner, running out of room. Court just about on the limit of the circuit, round the outside of Kong Hoffner and through. Court's through into P6. Kong Hoffner's lost the back end of the car, and Aiden is now into P7. SDRS becomes active in this race. Can Evan get through on Manatee? Kong Hoffner down to 12. It's all happening here since this safety car restart. Dan the Man with the fastest lap of this race, 01.21.2. Dan the Man suddenly, after nowhere, is now back inside the top 10, and Kong Hoffner's out of this race. He's not going to score points. What? What's happened?
He's fifth, he's overtaken Evan.
Court's in fifth! What's going on? Isaac has well and truly taken the controller from his brother. I'm calling Isaac as we speak to see if he's really there. What is this? Is this a crossover episode? It's Roy and Court fighting for position. It's not TGB GT, it's TGB1. And Manatee in P4 as Court just about in P5. Evan has a 5-second time penalty as Aiden will want to gain all of these positions and get himself back in the championship fight. Aiden, of course, 4th in the championship. We want to be 4th in this race. Mr. Chiapelli down in P12 with Kong disconnected, and Mr. Chiapelli and Kieran losing chunks of time. If Alistair had only continued, he would have been 12th position. He would have still got 3 points for Red Bull. But Alistair, choosing to retire, instead scores nothing. Is Court about to take P4 in this race?
Court, good.
He's up the inside. The Alpine driver's through. Court takes P4, but Roy tries to hang it on around the outside, but he can't do anything because Court is through, and he'll have the DR as well. Hooter Putin indeed. Court is through into P4. In fact, no, he doesn't have. He does have the DRS, but Manatee will try and get through, but he's got to defend from Evan behind him. Look at these three cars. There's an AlphaTauri, a Ferrari, and an Alpine. Is Evan going to go down the inside of both of them? Up the inside of Manatee. Evan tries it. Almost comes close. Now he'll have the switch back, and Aiden's getting involved too. We're going to go 3 wide here, are we? Have to turn the Ferrari's round. Evan's off the circuit. He lost the back end, and Aiden's like, thank you very much. Another position for me. Aiden could very well get P4 in this race. The top 4 in the championship, top 4 as things stand. We've got to go back to the front shortly because Jack Hickey is now just 5 tenths off the leader. I can't go to it though. Matt Tibbles 3 tenths behind Jack. 8 tenths covering the top 3. But Aiden Griffins is going to try and go through on Manatee. The soft tyres coming into effect at the end of this race. Once again, Aiden benefiting from the quicker tyres at the end. Court already has a 3-second gap to 7th. So he's going to get a top 6 at least. Can Matt Tibbles get Jack Hickey into the chicane? Not quite. Jack Hickey himself right behind Glock, and Glock's made a mistake. If Jack Hickey can get this tight, he will have DRS on the final lap. Aiden has passed Roy. I'm starting to lose my voice. I need some water, but I can't stop. Thank God this isn't a 50% race. Thank God this isn't Jack O'Carr. It's only 25% races. Up the inside, Matt Tibbles and Jack Hickey almost taking position. These two will allow Glock to pull clear and take the win of this race. Jack Hickey 6 tenths behind Glock. I'm out of breath. I had to go for a run. Matt Tibbles will try and get Jack. Jack will try and get Glock. 5 tenths is the gap. It's only 6 points in the championship. Will that be a 1-point swing into Hickey's favour, or will it be 13 points in Glock's favour? Matt Tibbles also 3rd in the championship. This is some season. The top 3 in the championship, all within a second on the final lap. Aiden should get that 4th position. There's all sorts going on. We've got Jordan and Dan the Man fighting. We've got CJH and Manatee fighting for P6 and P7. But I've got to stick with the top 3 because there's 8 tenths between them all. Any slight mistake or any fuel outage like we saw from Dan the Man, didn't top his car up the last few weeks, could see this result blown wide open. Can Glock hold his nerve for the final couple of sectors, and Court gets another 3-second time penalty. Why? There was no one behind him. He already had a 3-second gap to 6th, and the Dutchman is now going to drop back even further behind his rivals as Manatee and CH going side by side. Manatee doesn't race that one too hard. Glock should win this. Jack Hickey's only 4 tenths behind coming down to the final corner. It's 4 tenths. It's 3 tenths. Can the Aston Martin do something crazy into the final corner? I think he's too far back. Glock should win it. He should take the win. The championship lead is going to extend his lead. 4 tenths the difference. A second covers the top 3. The top 3 in the championship and the top 3 in Monza. It's Glock from Jack from Tibbles. Court will cross the line 4th, but it won't stand. Aiden takes 4th. CJH goes ahead of him too. Manatee gets another top 5. Dan the Man's in 6th. Court's going to finish 8th in the end. Jack Pearson will get P11, Mr. Chiapelli 12, Kongartner 13th, and Kieran 14th. And Alistair would have finished 12th had he continued. Would have been 3 points for Red Bull, but instead, nothing.
Oh, that was a fun finish.
I'm off the podium. Can I just say thank you to the whole group for just letting me through? Cheers.
Yeah, and me as well, because I had that spin when I hit the side of the tyre and was at the very, very back.
Well, you've all got to thank Jonas for the safety car. A lot of people gave him abuse when the safety car came out, but he certainly redeemed himself
No,
for those that came through the field. Oh, not the views of the TGP series. So Kieran then comes round to take the final points position. He scored 5.
Kaya, don't I, Kieran?
He scored 5 points in the first race. It's another point here tonight. What a race we were treated to again tonight. A couple of races, absolutely fantastic, wasn't it? The championship lead, Glock extends it as Jordan takes driver of the day. It only seems to be the AlphaTauris that get these driver of the day awards. Jordan with an excellent result in 9th. Probably wanted better, actually, to be honest, but it is Glock who wins yet again. That's win number 5 of the season for the Haas driver. His championship lead, which was 6 points, goes up to 13, maybe even 14 if he got the faster lap. Don't think he did. I think Dan Mann may have got that final point for the fastest lap. No, it was Kieran. Okay. Yeah. So Glock then, his championship lead is up to 13 points, and Matt Tibble's still in the fight as well. So the top 3 continue to remain ever close, and Aiden's still there in 4th. Just in case something happens later on in the season. What a result that is. Manatee in 5th. Dan the Man takes 6th. After that spin earlier on in the race, he has to be happy with that point haul. A double 6th place finish for Jack tonight. CJH was 7th, with Court, Joel and Evan completing the top 10. Jack Pearson, Mr. Chiapelli, Kong and Kieran complete the points positions. And it was Kieran who got the fastest lap, almost a second quicker than anyone else, pitting for softs right at the end. Cena, Alistair, Jonathan Cam all failed to score. And that is it for tonight. Your point scorer, I think, should be Jack Hickey. It was 43 points. Aidan and Matt scoring 30 each, and Glock 25. The top 4 in the championship remain just as close. But what a night it's been in TGP1. Join us again tomorrow for TGP2. Join us again next week for more TGP1 action at Russia and Japan. But from me, and from our drivers, good night, and we'll catch you next time.